Hi, everyone. This is Leslie from Spiritual Warfare Basics and Beyond. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a very long time, but there's been so much that's happened since I met with you before. God is calling me to put a video together, an important subject, an important revealing of my life and what's took place since last year, and a faith journey. God has spoke to me in regards to that his children are lacking in faith, and he wanted me to put forth this video because he says my children have forgotten about me. My children need to understand that having faith in their God, that I can make things happen in their lives. I can abide with them. I can lead them. I can guide them. I can protect them. I can help them to know their God calling. But it doesn't inquire and it does require faith. I'm hoping and praying that this video will touch you, will inspire you, will want you to have a more powerful prayer life with the Lord and seeking Him. And so let me begin. I have been single for 28 years. And even though all those 28 years I have not been a Christian, I've basically been a born-again Christian over, it's been around 9 years now, give or take, could be a little more. But in that 9 years, I have prayed faithfully, fasted faithfully, and asking and seeking the Lord for my calling, where He wants me to be. He's led me to many people, a ministry in spiritual warfare and deliverance, because as you can see through all the videos that I've made, I have had a past life experience before I became a born-again Christian in occult and practices of occultism. And He's brought me through that. I continue my journey in inner healing even to today. And there's many people that come through our ministry that seek freedom and healing, amazing healing. God's calling has been placed on me in healing, through deliverance and then healing, and helping others to break free from the demonic ties that have plagued them their whole life. And so that was an answered prayer, basically. But what this part, and I'm going to call it part 1, is about is how my life changed over this last year. For a long time, I have not had a relationship with my family. I have prayed and prayed and prayed and really sought the Lord on why things are as they are from my family, and why I can't have a relationship with my family, why they choose to not have me in their life. Now, I've heard many things being told to me over the years that I'm not a good person and that we would have a relationship with you if you weren't this or you weren't that, or it's because of you. But the Lord sees me differently than how my biological family sees me. And it's my belief, and I'm not going to go into extreme details here, it's my belief that the enemy is working through my family because of the God calling that I have, for their abandonment, for their judgment, for their division from me. All of those things are not of God. God is of love and unity and forgiveness, and I have not received any of that from my family for a long time. So I do thank God for the protection that He has given me through this. But on another thing, God has also blessed me with new people coming into my life in regards to a church family, people that love the Lord tremendously. Because once you become part of the kingdom of God, you have many brothers and sisters, and you're blessed with them. So I have been blessed in those kinds of ways to have people come into my life that truly love the Lord and truly see me as God sees me. So also in a part of my seeking the Lord, I have prayed for a husband for quite some time. And I had met a lot of different people, but they were never the right one. So I'm going to start talking about my journey here. And it started about 1.5 years ago when I was watching a ministry online, and they were in the Ozark area. I'm not going to say the town, but I'm just going to say the Ozark area. I got online and was looking up pictures of that area, and I thought, wow, it's such a beautiful area. I would love to get out of California, and I would love to go there. But I don't even know how that would ever be, how that would ever work, because, I have a business here, I work here, my life's here. And so I kind of thought about it for a little while and then just kind of let it go. So last November, right after Thanksgiving, 2017, I always, for those of you that do celebrate Christmas, I respect those that don't choose to, but I choose to celebrate the birth of Jesus. And even if it may not be the time frame of when Jesus' actual birth is, I still celebrate his birth. I don't celebrate the materialistic pagan part of Christmas. I celebrate the birth of Christ. And I do decorate my home. So last year, because I do it a little elaborately, I heard the Lord say, this is going to be your last Christmas here in this home. Now, I have lived here in this particular home. It's going on 13, 14 years now. And to be able to hear that, I thought, wow, okay, I don't know what that means, but I'm paying attention, and I just kind of let that go. So Christmas came and went. Now we're into 2018, moving into around March time of 2018. And during an inner healing session that I had, God gave me a vision. And what the vision was he showed me, because I have a cleaning business, he showed me wrapping up my vacuum cord on my vacuum and pushing it away from me. And I thought, wow, that was interesting, because I've got to work, I got bills to pay. I don't exactly understand what I'm being shown, but it looks like I possibly am not going to be working. Maybe God's leading me to something else. I have been interested in going into full-time ministry. But yet I knew in the immediate time I've got to have income flow coming in, of course. So I kind of let that go and thought, okay, Lord, whatever you're trying to show me, let's just see where you're leading me. So moving on now. And it was around May of 2018. It could have been more towards June, but I'm just not exactly sure the time frame. In my prayer time with the Lord, I had heard him say, You're coming into a season, daughter, of peace, joy, love, and a husband. And I went, wow, okay. Well, I've been single for, as I said, 28 years. I've been praying for, a godly man since I become a Christian, and God, nothing ever happened. I just was almost becoming content that maybe, because I have been married before, maybe it wasn't God's will, and I'm okay with that. But when I heard that, I thought, all right, I need to probably do something about this because, I don't have much of a social life. My life is pretty well taken up with work, my home, and my ministry and seeking the Lord. And maybe I better get back on the dating site kind of scene because that was the only explanation of possibly how God might be able to move somebody into my life. So through the summertime of 2018, I got on dating sites. And the Lord, I believe, it could have maybe not been the Lord now that I look back, but I met probably 4 different guys. And this is no kidding, brothers and sisters. As soon as these people, these men would come into my life, they were either right from the beginning, not the right one from the time I met them, to me in my mind thinking, well, this is maybe a great possibility, and yet nothing ever manifested. We talked about getting together and possibly meeting. I mean, it didn't even go, other than one gentleman, past phone calls. The phone calls were promising. The phone calls were, let's make plans to meet. And yet it never manifested. These guys disappeared. They just were removed. So at that point, I started to get a little flustered and thought, I don't understand what's going on. But lo and behold, in August of 2018, a gentleman by the name of Greg, he answered my ad. And this was on a free site, by the way. I didn't even have to pay for it. And he reached out to me, and we met. And we sat and talked for a good couple of hours over a meal. And I felt something there. And I know he felt something there. And we were both seeking strong Christian potentials. As he walked me out to my car, because I was getting ready to leave, he asked me, he said, I feel like I want to get to know you. Are you interested in seeing possibilities here? And I really thought, yeah. He was an attractive man, very kind-hearted, sweet-spoken, and a godly man. Loved the Lord very much. So that started our journey in getting to know each other. And in our dating process, in getting to know each other and talking to each other a lot, Greg is a barber and owns a barber shop. And through some weird laws that California's governor was passing in regards to 1099 people. It was a law that Governor Brown was going to put into effect kind of underhandedly. It wasn't spoken out loud to Californians. We found out about it from hearsay, from people talking to other people, and what it in fact meant that it was going to affect his business. Wasn't going to so affect mine because I'm self-employed and I'm the only employee of my company, but it was going to affect him. So it started a conversation, him and I, that we have not been very happy here in California. This is not the California I grew up with, and he feels the same way. And we both talked that, wow, we really have wanted to get out of California, not sure where we wanted to go. Well, then God brought to my mind the year and a half ago when I was seeking the Ozark area. And I was talking to him about this particular town. And he said, "Oh my gosh, some friends of mine that moved there 2 years ago really like it there. And I'm going to call him and ask him the pros and cons of the area." So, in fact, he did. And the guy said, "You would absolutely love it here. It's beautiful. It has true seasons. Snow doesn't stay on the ground more than 1 or 2 days. It has mild temperatures, and it's beautiful. And there's a lot of God-fearing, God-loving people in the area." Well, it just really got us excited. And so what we did was we planned a trip to go to the Ozark area in November of 2018, just last month. And we decided to go ahead and look and see if the Lord was leading us there for sure, and do a lot of prayers and get a feel for the area. Okay, so we scheduled the trip, but back in October of 2018, the Lord also, because we decided this looks like God's leading, Greg decided to put his house up for sale because we knew it was going to take some time to sell it. And so he listed his home, and we're moving along with God's leading. So in this same time, we both sought the Lord in regards to our relationship and where God was taking us. Greg sought the Lord intimately, and I sought the Lord intimately. I prayed and fasted. "Is this the possible man that you spoke to me about back in May, Lord?" And the Lord confirmed. And the Lord confirmed with Greg that I was the godly wife that he needed. And so we got engaged really quick. And we heard the Lord say, when you come home from Branson, "Oh my gosh, I just spoke the town, that you are to get married." So I started looking into where in our local area that we could do that, and knowing that my family is not involved in my life at all, and probably wouldn't really care at this point because it's been so long since any of them have reached out to me or wanted any contact with me. And the same thing with Greg. Long story with his family as well, but we just decided to do it privately, intimately, and go before the Lord because this was all God's leading us together. It was God's leading us together. And so we scheduled an elopement and went to South Lake Tahoe in November, and we, on top of a mountaintop looking over Emerald Bay, we married each other. And God's blessings were there. We also had friends of ours come up to support us in this blessed endeavor because this was all God. This was a true faith walk, how all of this has came together as you hear this. We came home. Now, I want to tell you, we have had so many demonic attacks brought against us since we have came together. Greg's been attacked. I've been attacked. This hasn't been easy because when two or more gather together, and especially in a holy union brought together by God, the enemy is going to do everything in its power to cause conflict and division. We are two people that, even though we're being brought together by God, we're still getting to know each other in a human way, in a physical way. And we're trusting in the Lord through every single situation, but there's still an adjustment. There's still getting used to each other. There's still, different personalities. And both of us have had tremendous occult attacks on our life, our whole life. We've had assignments by the enemy our whole life. And we're trying to break through those things and submit ourselves to the Lord deeper and deeper. But even on after we got married, we had so many attacks even on our honeymoon. It's tremendous attacks that were brought against us, and we're working through each and every one of them, submitting ourselves to the Lord, and the Lord is breaking it off of us. And so we did not really tell too many people when we came home. He didn't speak of these things to his family. We didn't want the witchcraft coming at us because we were getting bombarded through our generational lines anyway, spiritually, that knew that this had took place. So lo and behold, God blessed Greg with selling his house. And that was a tremendous blessing. So I want to talk about now moving to the Ozarks. We could not get financed. Being self-employed, you have to really, it's a unique thing that they do, and they, finance companies, mortgage brokers, they have a criteria, and it's really hard for people that are self-employed, if you don't follow exactly under that criteria, to be able to get financed. Our plan was to get his home sold, pay off his home, and the money that's left over to put it on a new home, but actually also get some financing. We weren't able to do that. We had a realtor in the Ozark area to help us, and we tried. We thought we were going to have to probably rent for a couple of years in the area that we're moving to. And lo and behold, the Lord used our realtor, Brad. This realtor office in the area we're moving to also does new construction homes. And he approached me and said, we want to offer you a new construction home, and we are willing to be an investor in your home, give you 2 years to get settled in the area for a phenomenal amount of rent, basically leasing our home to us. And then after 2 years, refinancing it. And we were just blown away. Once again, the hand of God all over this brand new home. And we were so excited. So we thanked Jesus. We were praising him in all ways. And so with that, also through our realtor, he also let us know that there was a gentleman who was retiring in that area that owned a barber shop, and that the barber shop was empty, and gave us the ins and outs, the contact person of the building manager, to be able to call and get some information, which I did. And lo and behold, Greg has a barber shop. The Lord provided for him so that when we move up there next month in January, Greg is going to be able to just walk right in and have this business. Do you see, brothers and sisters, when you totally submit everything to the Lord, when you seek him on every single little detail, how the Lord provides? He is so faithful. He is so faithful. But all he requires of his children is to have us be obedient to him, have us submit to him, pray to him, trust in him, put everything at his feet, even when we're struggling in our relationship, which Greg and I have. We're adjusting to our new life. We're trying to come together as husband and wife, but that doesn't mean everything is roses and perfect. We have had some hiccups. But when we seek the Lord and we ask his will over us, he just brings everything together perfectly and beautifully. And we are just blown away of everything that he has done to make this move, providing our home for us, providing income, selling cars, selling his house. Now, let me tell you one of these attacks. So when Greg sold his house, he has an uncle that he has a little mother-in-law set up on his half-acre property. And his uncle's lived there for quite some time. His uncle is not a believer. His uncle has a lot of demonic. And Greg has tried to witness to him a lot over the years. And his uncle doesn't have ears to hear, isn't interested. Whether seeds are planted, maybe in time he will. With this being said, when it came time we got a buyer for the house, it went into escrow. We're down to the wire now. We're down to, it's going to close in a week. And his uncle was not budging. His uncle says, I'm not moving. You're going to have the authorities come and get me out. Greg is so kind-hearted. He didn't want to have to take the steps to be forceful. He was praying over the situation. He talked to his uncle, told him the circumstance. His uncle said, nope, I'm claiming squatter rights. I'm not moving. So my husband had talked to, some people in authority, sheriff's department in his area, and they gave him some suggestions of what to do. So one morning, when his uncle was gone, Greg loaded up, which all the belongings in that place were my husband's. His uncle just used these things. Loaded everything up and cleaned out the place and locked the door. When his uncle came home, there was a big, as you know, disagreement. The sheriff's office was called. Now, even though my husband sought the authorities 2 different times and even warned them that this was going to happen, that this is what he did, nobody told him not to do this. Nobody gave him warning, no, this isn't right. But this particular sheriff that showed up at his door, this is how Leviathan twists and turns and gets involved in it, said that Greg had no rights to do that. So, of course, we've been praying and asked the Lord to get in. What do we do about this? We prayed. What are we going to do? What if he claims squatter rights, comes back in? This new person that bought the house is going to move in now. This is on a Thursday. She's moving in on Monday. And this is going on with his uncle. So we're praying. The Lord told me he will not be back. This was on Saturday when I sought the Lord. I heard the Lord say he will not be back. Well, what happened is there was a cold front that came down in his area, and he ended up leaving and going and staying with somebody that was employed with Greg's barber shop, who was a practicing witch, who betrayed my husband and came together and was going to be moving in. Greg's uncle was buying a house, and she was going to, and her boyfriend were going to move in with them into this house. She was probably casting spells. She was working with Greg's uncle because she ended up showing up that day when all this took place. But the Lord, in his mercy, brought the snow. And where this person lived, this witch lived, was higher in elevation, and they were not able to come down that weekend because the snow kept them away. I just want to cry when I think back of all this stuff that the Lord has provided. And when the Lord said he's not going to be able to come back, that's why. So, brothers and sisters, the miracles of our God, the blessings of our God, continue to unfold in me and my husband's life. We are so grateful and so humbled by his mercy. Things continue to move forward. We're getting ready to pack up my house here the end of this month after Christmas. And we're going to be on our journey, moving towards the Ozark area in January. I'm going to, after I get settled, provide a part 2 video so that you can continue to see the miracles of God as he unfolds. And doing this video is by his instruction, because he wants people to be able to be lifted, to be able to be inspired, to be able to grow their faith, and to be able to know that when you submit everything to the Lord, he provides. Because I cannot tell you, over this last few years what I have been through with family issues, with them abandoning me, with my customers and situations over this last year. I lost a lot of customers and didn't understand why. I was praying, Father, I need income. What am I going to do? The Lord has provided every single thing for me. And he's just been overflowing in the blessings because what has been stolen from me. I've got grandchildren I can't even see, brothers and sisters. And that's been a very difficult thing. I pray this video will inspire you. I pray it'll lift your faith. I pray that you will see the Almighty God and the God I serve, and how powerful and how mighty and how faithful our Heavenly Father is when we seek Him in all ways. I pray blessings on you. And I also want to say the warmth of Christmas this time of year over each and every one of you and your families. I pray blessings upon you. And until we meet again, God bless you.